Hello. So today in Python, I'm going to discuss floor division and modulo operator. Uh, what happens when we divide dividend by divisor? Then we get the quotient as well as the remainder. But when usually we used to apply slash sign to divide the dividend by the divisor, and this gives the quotient all the time. And to take out the remainder, we'll have to apply another character, that is the modulo sign. You can say the percent sign. But percent sign, using percent sign does not mean we are going to calculate the percentage. But here, I would like to tell you that these two symbols. So over here, you see there are two symbols, uh, two times a stroke and percent sign. So two times a stroke means row division, and the percent sign denotes modulo operator. Means if you want to calculate or evaluate the remainder, then you will have to use percent or modulo operator. And if you want to find out the floor division, then you will have to use uh, two times slashes. So what is floor division basically? Floor division, if you go to the number line, and the number line is divided into two parts. The middle part is, or midpoint is 0, and if we move right to 0, it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And if you move left to 0, it gives you minus 1, 2, 3, 4, like on graph, like on graph paper. When you plot a graph, you take care of this. So here also, we will have to keep in mind that while dividing any number by another number, means dividend by the divisor, we'll have to take care of the quotient as well as the remainder. So in Python programming, we use the library math.floor. Means we have to import math module, and after math module, you can use math.floor, which gives you the floor division of the quotient, floor division of the division. What happens in floor division? When you divide any number by the divisor, and if it comes in precision, or if you get the precisional value, then it always gives you less than equals to the integer value. Okay, less than equals to the integer value. Always remember, please keep in mind, you don't have to round it off. So if you are using floor or two times slash, it means it gives you the value which is less or equals to the integer value, the quotient which is coming up. It should be, if you evaluate floor division on the quotient, you will have to extract the value which is less or equals to the integer. But problem comes, or problem arises, when numbers or the values are uh, of same signs, or when they are the signs in opposite. I mean, plus and minus and plus, minus minus and plus plus. So what happens when you divide a positive value by a negative number or negative integer? A positive float value, when you divide by the minus float value. So what should be the remainder and what should be the quotient? This we like to evaluate here in this video, and you'll see how to do it. So here, this 2 times stroke, it means floor division. And after that, you see the percent sign, it means you are going to calculate the remainder. Okay, so यहाँ पर हम यूज करने वाले हैं पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव के साथ में, एंड फ्लोट के साथ में भी, और इंटीजर्स के साथ में भी. सो देयर इज द कंपैरिजन लाइक डिवाइड एंड floor division and floor division. So division gives you the complete quotient, whether precisional value or the integer value or the whole number. But 2 times a stroke, that is floor division, will always give you the integer quotient. So you should uh, take care of this. While using 2 times slashes, it means it will give you the floor division, or integer quotient. And if you are using slash only, it might give you the precisional value or precisional quotient. Okay, so suppose if you want to take out the floor value of x, means math.floor, so it will give you the absolute value. See here, floor of x is giving you the absolute of x. But here you notice, when you want to take out the floor of 2, it could be equal to floor 2.0001 or floor 2.9999, but the exact value of floor will be 2 only, because less or equals to the integer. So this is integer, this is integer, this is integer. So this is always less or equal to. So 2.999, if you round it off, it gives you 3. But if you take the floor of this, it will give you 2. So see how to visualize this concept. If you take the floor of like 2.99999 or 2.0001, it lies between 2 or 3. यहाँ पर इस तरह से vary करेगा. But when you take the floor, it will give you always less or equal the value. Less or equal. So less of this value, because this is precisional value, and less of this value will be 2. Okay. So if we take next example, floor of 3, the same way, floor of 3.0001 or floor of 3.9999 will give you 3, means less or equals to the integer, like this. The floor value will vary from 3 to 4, or lies between 3 and 4. So it gives less or equal. So 3.999 or 3.001, which is greater than 3. 3.999 is greater than 3, but floor gives the less integer, not the greater integer. So this way, less or equals to means either it will give you 3, but it cannot give 4. Okay. So if you see this example, if floor of -2 जरा देखते हैं. So in floor of -2, obviously, if you consider number line, so right of 0 gives you the positive values, and left of 0 gives you the negative values. So floor of -2, it could be a floor of -1. If you want to, evaluate floor of -1.9999 or floor of -1.00001, it will give you less or equal. So -1 and -2, which is less? -2. So it is giving -2 here. Another example, if floor of minus 3 you want to evaluate. So if there is a value like minus 2.9999, if you want to take out the floor of this value, it will give you less or equal. So minus 2 is greater than minus 3. So it will give you minus 3 here. Similarly, floor of minus 2.00001, which is greater than, minus 3. So it will give you minus 3 only. Always lesser value, right? So whenever you are facing such kind of calculation where you will have to find out the floor value, then you will have to keep in mind that the floor value is of the floor division will always give you the less or equals to the integer value. Okay, let's see next. What does it say? For example, you are going to divide, means dividend is 50 and divisor is 12. When you divide 50 by 12, it will definitely give you 4.166 or something like this, because slash divides the dividend and gives the quotient in the precisional value, or gives the precisional value. But if you use 50 floor division 12, so 50 divided by 12, it will give you 4.1666 and so on. But if you take the floor division symbol, like 2 times slash 50 floor division 12, and in this case the quotient will be the integer value, that is 4. So the remainder is 2, but this symbol, floor division symbol, will not return 2. This will return 4 only. So the relation should be remainder is equal to dividend minus divisor into floor of quotient. So जरा इस चीज को देखिए, remainder it says remainder says 2. If you divide 50 by 12 and extracting the floor division, so remainder is 2. So see, apply this formula. Remainder is equal to dividend minus divisor into floor of quotient. So dividend is 50, fine, minus divisor is 12, fine, and floor of 4.1666. So floor of 1.666 less than or equals to, so value 4.1666, इससे less value क्या होगी? So the value should be 4. So floor of 4.1666 will be 4. So the remainder will be 50 minus 12 into 4 is 2 here. So this relation works in this way. So if you write this statement in Python, you will write like this: A modulo B is equal to A minus B into A floor division B. So this way you can evaluate the modulus or the remainder. Next, floor division and modulo with positive and negative integers. See here, when you divide positive by positive integer, the quotient will always be positive. Or if you divide minus integer by minus integer, the quotient will always be positive. See here, if you divide 9 by 4 or minus 9 by minus 4, this will give you positive quotient always. And see here, if you are taking floor division 9 floor division 4 or minus 9 floor division minus 4, it will give you what? Floor of 2.25, means always positive, and the floor is 2. 2.25 it should be less or equal to the integer, and that is why floor of 2.25 will give you 2 only. So hope you understood this. Next, quotient is always positive. Now we are going to calculate the remainder. How to calculate the remainder? Just have a look on this expression. Here, you wanted to find out or wanted to evaluate the quotient, and in the next case, I wanted to calculate the remainder. So see here, 9 modulo 4, obviously it will give you 1, but how? Dividend, this is the formula. Remainder is equal to, this is relation. Remainder is equal to dividend minus divisor into floor of quotient. So 9 is the dividend minus 4 is the divisor multiplied by 2. What is 2? 2 is basically the quotient, floor division of quotient. So see here, and this way we evaluated 2 as the floor quotient 2. So see here, 9 minus divisor into quotient, which should be floor quotient. The floor quotient is 2 here. So see here, 9 minus 4 into 2, that is 9 minus 8 is equal to 1. So this is the remainder. But what if we have like दोनों ही नेगेटिव हो गए, both the values are negative, positive and negative, both we are looking here. So minus 9 modulo minus 4. So again, if signs are the same, then the quotient will always be positive. So this way, minus 9 is dividend, minus 4, this is divisor, multiplied by the floor quotient. This is 2. So see here, minus 9 and minus this minus, divisor is minus 4, multiplied by the floor quotient, this is 2. So calculated, minus 9 minus minus plus 4 into 8, this is plus 8. So minus 9 plus 8, this gives you minus 1. So if the symbols or the operators are the same, the quotient will always be positive. But yes, remainder could be different. So this way, the remainder is minus 9 modulo minus 4 minus, it will give you minus 1. So modulus is, or remainder is minus 1 here. What if the operators are opposite in signs? Like if you divide minus 9 by 4 or 9 by minus 4. Okay, if you want to evaluate the floor division of minus floor division 4, 9 floor division minus 4, so what should be the output? So when you divide a negative value by positive or positive value by negative, the quotient will always be negative. So keep in mind, this is very important. And while taking the floor division, if your dividend is minus, say minus 9, and divisor is positive, and you are taking floor division, the quotient will always be negative. So while taking this is very important, and this has to be keep in mind. So you will have to keep this in mind that minus 9 floor division 4 or 9 floor division minus 4 is equal to, if you want to calculate floor, then 4 of minus 2.25, as you divide uh, positive by negative or negative by positive, it always gives you the negative quotient. So quotient, floor of quotient is your minus 3, because minus 2.25 less or equals to, so minus 2.25 का जो less है, which is lesser, minus 2 or minus 3. So because it lies, this value 2 minus 2.25 lies between minus 2 and minus 3, and that is why the lesser value is minus 3, and hence the quotient is minus 3. Next, the relation remainder is equal to dividend minus divisor into floor quotient. अब इस चीज को हम यहां पर एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं. तो माइनस मॉडलो 4, बिकॉज ये हमने क्वेश्चन निकाला, अब हम यहाँ पर मॉडुलस निकाल रहे हैं, यानी रिमाइंडर निकाल रहे हैं. तो माइनस 9 मॉडलो 4 इज इक्वल टू, कैसे निकालें, कैसे कैलकुलेट करना है, हाउ टू कैलकुलेट दिस. तो अटेंशन प्लीज. माइनस 9 दैट इज डिविडेंड माइनस डिवाइजर. तो डिवाइजर इज योर प्लस 4, so minus 4 into your floor quotient minus 3, floor quotient, so minus 3. So when you multiply or when you calculate this expression, any minus 9 minus 4 into minus 3, it is minus 9 plus 12, so the remainder will be 3. This is very important. This is very important. बहुत सारे टीचर्स, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स इस चीज़ को जब करते हैं तो उनको ये दिक्कत आती है. व्हेन वी से माइनस 9 मॉडलो 4, और अगर हम माइनस 9 को 4 से डिवाइड करें तो रिमाइंडर क्या आएगा. दे विल नॉट गिव आंसर कि द रिमाइंडर विल बी पॉजिटिव. नो, दे ऑलवेज से द रिमाइंडर विल बी minus 3. So here this is very important. If you remember the relation, you can definitely say the remainder is positive. एंड अगर रिलेशन आपको पता नहीं है, तो फॉर्मूला आपको पता नहीं है, तो यू डेफिनेटली विल नॉट बी एबल टू गिव द करेक्ट आंसर. सो इफ द डिविडेंड इज नेगेटिव एंड डिवाइडेड इज पॉजिटिव, द रिमाइंडर विल ऑलवेज बी पॉजिटिव. एंड अगर जो सेकेंड पार्ट है दिस, डिविडेंड इज पॉजिटिव but divided is negative, then what happens? Just have a look on this. 9 modulo minus 4. This should be dividend minus divisor. So minus divisor is what? Divisor is minus 4. So 9 minus minus 4 multiplied by the floor quotient. So what is floor quotient? My floor quotient is minus 3, and that is why after calculation it gives you 9 minus 12, because minus minus when multiplied will give you positive sign. So 4 into 3 plus 12, and minus which is outside the parenthesis, and that is why it is 9 minus 12, and hence it gives you minus 3 as remainder. So when dividend is positive but divisor is negative, in that case the remainder will be negative. So here minus 3 is the remainder. Okay, so this is when different operators, any opposite operators, plus minus, so both we have considered here, and we got the output accordingly. So if dividend is minus and divisor is positive, the remainder will be positive. And if the dividend is positive but divisor is negative, the remainder will be negative. Okay. Next, now this is the case of float values. So where we have the same signs. Same signs means positive, positive and negative, negative. Then see what happens. So we have the values like 6.3 and 1.5. These are the float values and positive values. Or minus 6.3 divided by minus 1.5. So remember, it will give you the positive quotient. It will give you the positive quotient. But if you take the floor of this, because this time it is not giving the remainder. This is completely giving the quotient. But here, I'm going to take the quotient as well as the remainder. So floor will give you the quotient and how to take the remainder. For the remainder, I will have to use percent sign or modulo sign. So see here, quotient is always positive. Now it's time to calculate the remainder. So see remainder 6.3 modulo 1.5. So the relation is dividend minus dividend minus divisor into floor quotient. So this is what? 6.3 is the dividend, 1.5 is the divisor, and 4.0, which is the floor quotient. So when you solve this relation, it will give you 6.3 minus 6.0 and it gives 0.3. So when you take the remainder of same signs, it will give you the positive remainder. What if same signs negative? So in the previous case, all the values were positive, so the remainder was positive, and here all the values are negative, so remainder will also be negative. Okay, so minus 6.3 modulo minus 1.5, so dividend is minus 6.3 minus divisor, and divisor is in negative. So minus minus positive. So 1.5 into 4.0 and minus minus positive. So minus 6.3 plus 6.0 will give you minus 0.3 as a remainder. Okay. Now, when the signs are opposite, when signs were similar, उसका आपने आउटपुट देखा. अब यहाँ पर साइंस डिफरेंट हो रहा है, अपोजिट हो रहा है, पॉजिटिव भी है नेगेटिव भी है. So if the number is minus 6.3 and the divisor is positive 1.5, or dividend is positive 6.3 and divisor is 1.5, minus 1.5. In this case, the quotient will be minus, because एक minus, एक plus, एक plus, एक minus, the quotient will always be negative. Now, if you take the floor of negative value, you will have to keep in mind the number line. As you move towards uh, right side of the zero, you'll take or you'll consider positive value, and if you move in the left direction, you'll have to see the negative values. So while using the floor of negative values, it will give you a smaller value, a smaller integer, less or equals to. So see here, if you use minus 6.3 upon 1.5, and if you take floor division, or 6.3 floor division minus 1.5, it will give you minus 4.2. When you take the floor of this, so here minus 4, what is the lesser value? Minus 4 or minus 5? So I think minus 5, because this value lies between minus 4 to minus 5, and that is why the lesser value is minus 5. So floor of minus 4.2 will give you minus 5. And how to calculate the remainder? Just have a look on this. The relation is remainder is equal to dividend minus divisor into floor quotient. So here we have two values like minus 6.3 and divisor is 1.5. So see the relation 6.3 minus 6.3 modulo 1.5. So here dividend minus divisor multiplied by floor quotient. So floor quotient is minus 5.0 and my divisor is positive 1.5 and dividend is minus 6.3. So the relation gives you minus 6.3 minus 1.5 into minus 5.0, and that is why it gives you 6.3 plus 7.5, and hence the output is 1.2. So while dividend is negative but the divisor is positive, the remainder will be positive, say 1.2. Next case, when dividend is positive and divisor is negative, then see what happens. So here dividend is positive, divisor is negative. So 6.3 minus divisor, that is minus 1.5, multiplied by floor quotient, that is minus 5. So minus 5 into minus 1.5 will give you 7.5 positive. So the relation will give you 6.3 minus 7.5, and hence the remainder is minus 1 upon 2. So when dividend is positive but divisor is negative, the remainder will also be negative. So this way we can calculate the quotient, we can calculate the remainder when same signs and when negative signs. Negative signs, any positive, negative. So this is all for the day. Hope you liked it. And if you like it, kindly share with your friends. And we'll meet in the next video with a new thing. So till then, goodbye.